Hi guys, it's Grace with Grace Gets Gastric. Today is Tuesday, January 7th, 2019, and I'm here today for my 2-year, 1-week post-op VSG update, or week 105. So to start us off with stats, first weigh-in of the new year. Again, my name is Grace. I'm 5'8", 28 years old, and on January 2nd, 2018, I had the vertical sleeve gastrectomy, or VSG, weight loss surgery. My highest weight ever recorded was 354 pounds in May of 2017, and I was required by my insurance to do a 6-month medically supervised weight loss diet, and over the course of that 6 months, I lost 35 pounds. My starting weight, day of surgery, was 319 pounds. Last week, I came at you up a bit with a weight of 203.2, and this morning, I weighed in at 197.8. So that is a weekly loss of 5.4 pounds, a loss since surgery of 121.2 pounds, and a loss since my highest weight of 156.2 pounds. Yay! That's one of the biggest losses I've had in months and months and months. I think since I did like the egg fast back in April. So pretty happy about that. Not surprised. So I'm figured I was at about the high 190s. That was what I came at you guys. I think that was sort of my weight throughout November, beginning of December, and then I kind of popped up a little bit higher throughout the holiday season, but I knew that a lot of that was just water retention from the alcohol, from the increased carbs. My calories were definitely higher than they should have been, but they weren't monstrously high for most of the days. Some days they were monstrously high, let's be real. But I was hoping, I kind of had a feeling that I hadn't not put on fat to the point that I was above the 200s, but happy to have that confirmed. I do not expect that next week's weigh-in will be as big of a loss, because now I think I'm getting to the actual regain, which I feel so weird calling it that because I don't really consider it regain. I am at 197.8. I'm like 4 pounds, if, you know, not even quite 4 pounds above the high end of my maintenance range. And that's only been for about 2 months, and it was over the holiday season. So I just really consider this, I feel like regain is too official of a term, but to each their own. My low-key goal would be to get, I'd love to be at 190 by plastics. That is like kind of the mid-low end of my range. The lowest I've seen on the scale was like 187, not for very long. And I was pretty comfortable in like the 188 to 194 range, and I'd love to be at 190 just because I think that's a nice even plastics number. I actually, when I did my last DEXA scan, and I'm gonna have one right before plastics, but when I did my last one in May, it was actually right around my lowest weight. So I think it was like the week of my lowest weight, and so I weighed in at the DEXA place at like 187, I think. 188. So I'd love to not be super up on the scale at the DEXA place, but I mean, it's not a big deal. I'm going to say some of this is muscle, but we'll find out for sure when I do the DEXA scan. Anyways, sorry, this might be a long video. I actually have a surprising amount to talk about, but that is also no surprise because plastics are coming up, and it's all plastics all the time over here, folks. No surprise there. But it's kind of weird how eventful this past week is. I forgot that it's weird that when I came to you guys last time, it was before the new year. It was December 31st. It feels like we've been in January for ages now, but that's just because every day I've been doing so much. So yeah, I did New Year's, had a lot of fun, went, saw some friends. I didn't stick to my plan. I told you guys that I was planning to, I brought a Mio and I was just going to have like vodka waters, but we ended up going to a brewery and they didn't have hard alcohol, which was a real pain in the ass. And so I ended up getting cider, which is full of sugar, but I don't like beer, and it's carbonated at least. So I think I had, over the course of the whole night, 3 ciders, which I'm okay with. Definitely was a little bit bloated the next day. Definitely ate some kettle popcorn and some cookies, but it's all good. As you can see, I got the weight off pretty quickly. I didn't really gain any real weight. I had mentioned how I was planning to get back on track in the new year. I knew that pretending that I was going to be perfect on New Year's Eve and even early New Year's Day was just not realistic. But I found it surprisingly easy so far, knock on wood, to get back into things. I mean, you'll know if you've been watching my channel that I've been struggling to really find the proper motivation to resist temptation with my eating in particular, and just wasn't happening for me. And it was really like a switch went off. Even New Year's Day, I started off the day a little bit wobbly just because I was at my friend's house. I really couldn't control what we were eating. And so it's like I had like a croissant and a sugar-free latte with milk. You know, it wasn't bad. And for the full day, I was actually within my calorie range. So I ended up being able to really, it didn't throw me off track to kind of start off with like a croissant, which is not a normal food for me. And then the rest of the week since, I have been totally within my macros. If you are following me on Instagram, which you should, I am posting my food every single day, a wrap up of what I'm eating, just to help me have a little bit of additional accountability. Plus, I know I'm always interested in what people are eating, so I thought I'd share that for kind of the month leading into plastics. So if you're interested, you can see that over there. But it's been surprisingly easy. And it's interesting because with how much I've been struggling for the past few weeks, there's just like a switch in my head. Maybe it's the new year. Maybe it's the fact that like plastics it feels very real that it's coming up. And I really want to, buckle down getting into that. Maybe it was, seeing above 200, who knows what it was. But yeah, it's been going really well so far. So hooray. Speaking of, I'm going to drink some water. Speaking of plastics, I've created a playlist on, so if you guys have been paying attention, I make a lot of playlists for my own personal videos. So if you are ever interested in watching all of my weekly updates and just those, there's a playlist in the playlist tab of my channel where you can just see my weekly updates. You can just see my monthly updates, just my food hauls, my what I eat in a day. I kind of put those into playlists because sometimes I know that I'm particularly interested in a certain kind of video, and it can be annoying when someone has as many videos as I do to try to wade through them. So I also have a tab that a playlist for all of my plastics related videos and content, which I will be continuing to add to. And then I also created a playlist of not my videos, of plastics vlogs by other YouTubers. So I have been binge watching everyone's plastics journey that I can find. And so I've created a playlist and I made it public. So if any of you guys are interested, you can watch the playlist, and I've kind of gathered a bunch of weight loss surgery, specifically plastics journeys. And it's a mixture of medical tourism and not. And so right now I have Shrinking Violet DS, Chemistry Queenie, Smile and Shrinkin', My VSG Confessional, Lauren Losing, Voodoo Queen, Watch Patty Melt, Renee Bands, and Nessa. So if you guys know of any other like YouTubers who have made videos on their post-weight loss plastics, let me know in the comments down below and I can watch them and add them. I think those are pretty much everybody that I've added. So yeah, let me know. I'd obviously love to watch them. I've also been watching people who have stories on Instagram, but I just much prefer YouTube videos. I'm also kind of getting over a cold. I don't know if you can tell. Kind of annoying, but thankfully I'm getting over it, and it was pretty mild. It was not, I never even felt like the need to take any kind of medication, which is good because I'm trying to avoid basically all medication because there's certain things that they don't want you to take in the month before plastics, and I just don't feel like figuring out which is okay. So I'm just like, not taking anything. But thankfully I'm really very on the tail end of it. It was mostly just mild sore throat, really runny nose, and I was sneezing like crazy, which is so weird because I've never had like a illness where I sneezed so much. And I can actually I can feel the tickle right now. But yeah, I'm, so paranoid about getting sick before surgery because I obviously don't want to have to postpone or cancel, but yeah, taking lots of vitamin C. I will probably talk about my vitamins that I'm taking at some point. I'm going to do a what I eat in a day probably in the next few weeks, and so I'll probably talk about it in there. If you are curious what my pre-plastics vitamin routine is. But yes, more plastics. Like I said, it's like all plastics all the time over here. I'm sorry if you're not interested in that, but I can't imagine not being, because I just find that so fascinating. But I am continuing to work through my to-do list, and I've actually made some great progress. So I've continued to buy stuff on Amazon mostly. I'm definitely overbuying. I know that, and it's one of those things where I'd rather have too much stuff than not enough, and everything that I'm buying, or most everything I'm buying, I don't think will go to waste if I don't end up using it. So I'll talk about everything I've bought when I end up packing for my trip. So don't worry, I will talk all about that eventually. And I'm still collecting things, but I'm making good dent in my to buy list. I also have my dentist appointment. That was one of the appointments I wanted to get my way through. So I had my dentist appointment last week. It went well. My teeth are fine, which is good. I also told you guys I sent in my labs for surgery, and they have been reviewed by their internal medicine doctor, and I am officially approved for my surgical date. They actually didn't have any recommendations to change any of my vitamins or update, or they told me to stop taking my cod liver oil, which was fine because I actually stopped taking it right after I'd sent those labs because I ran out, and I knew that that was something that they didn't want you to take because I think it can like thin your blood. So I hadn't bought a new one, and that worked out because I just didn't keep taking it. And yeah, so my hemoglobin was good, my iron was good, all of that was good to go. So I am officially approved for surgery. They did send me the information to do a wire transfer. So I'm just kind of confirming a few final details with them, making sure that I have the exact amount correct. And then I will probably be doing that this week or next. What else? Sorry, I'm looking at my list of things. Oh yes, I don't know if I mentioned that I sent them my FMLA paperwork back in like October or November, I think November, and then they sent it back to me, and I sent that to my HR department in December and was approved for FMLA. So that was nice to know that I am, you know, like there's always kind of a nervousness with cosmetic surgery. I mean, it's for sure cosmetic, but there is also, you know, some legitimate reasons in terms of rashes, comfort, ability to live my life. So it isn't strictly cosmetic, but that's definitely a huge aspect, and it's very easy to see that as strictly cosmetic. And so I was, you know, there was like a little twinge in my back of my mind that was worried that could be an issue, but it was totally fine. They approved it. So my plan is I'm taking Monday, January 27th. My surgery is on the Wednesday, the 29th. We leave on the 28th, and I decided to just take the 27th off, just so I take the full week off and have a full day off to prepare. So I originally wasn't planning on doing that, and I was like, Grace, you are not going to want to do a full day of work and then only have a few hours in the evening to prepare for leaving the next morning early. So I'm taking the 27th off, and then I'm taking all of February off. So basically, you know, a month and a week. February is a shorter, you know, time frame, or a shorter month, but so right now my plan is the first day back of work will be the first Monday in March. I think it's like a 3rd or something. But of course I can reevaluate that if I need to. I can extend if I have to. I can do part-time, or, you know, I can, kind of part-time for a while if I need to. So there's a bunch of flexibility there, but that is my plan right now. So I did get the FMLA taken care of. And then I also applied for paid family medical leave. So you might know if you've been watching that one of the many reasons that I decided to have my surgery in 2020, specifically, I wanted early, but I wanted to wait until January 2020 because that is when my state is implementing paid family medical leave, which is an ability to potentially get some of your pay while you're out on medical leave. So I have applied for that. It literally opened January 1st for the entire state, and so I know that they're going to be swamped. It's possible they won't get to it for a very long time, like months. I would not be surprised if it's retroactive, but the idea would be they would, I think it's up to either 60% of your salary or $1,000 a week, whichever is lower. So that would be cool. Right now I do have enough time off saved to have, I think, all but like 1 or 2 days of my leave paid. So that is like, one of the many reasons I've been staying at my job is because I do have a good amount of time off accrued. So with all of the various time offs right now, I think it's 1 or 2 days in the whole, 4.5+ weeks that I am taking off that would not be paid. And then if I end up getting additional pay from paid family medical leave, I would probably go back retroactively and take some of those time offs back because your girl loves vacations. And I actually have a few travel plans for this coming year that I'm hoping I'll have time off for. I'm also, you guys know that I'm looking into potentially getting a new job this year. And so who knows how that situation will work out. So lots of up in the airs. What else? I have a massage today. So you guys know that I do medical massage. I have scheduled both of them for the month. I've got 2 this month before surgery, and then we will figure out. One of my questions for the surgeon is when they think I should and can go back to getting massage. So don't know yet when I'll be returning, but I wanted to get at least 2 in the books. So I've got one today and then one 2 weeks from now. So the massaging, that was another one of the appointments that I have taken care of. And then wheelchair assistance for my flight home. I called my airline and made sure to arrange for wheelchair assistance on my return flight only, just for me. So that is, I'm not going to be convinced that they've got it set up because I just don't trust. I don't trust, airlines. But hopefully that will work out. But I've organized the wheelchair assistance, so something that was on my list. And I've also prepped my first meal, so I'm planning to do probably 6-ish meals. And I prepped my first one this weekend. I'm kind of scattering it, so I was planning to do it all in one day, and then I was like, I don't think I'm going to want to spend a full day, because that would take a full day if I'm prepping 6 dishes. So I'm going to kind of stagger them throughout the month, and so I did one this weekend, and that was paleo chocolate chili, which is so good. I have not made it in a really long time, not since surgery, but it was a favorite of mine pre-op. When I did the Whole30 years and years ago, it was a Whole30 compliant recipe, and I remember really enjoying it, and it froze well, I remember, because I froze some of it. So I decided to pull that staple out because somebody recommended chili as like a good option, and it was just as tasty as I remembered. I'd had 1 serving to eat, and then froze the rest. If you want the recipe, I'll try to remember to link it below, but it's definitely linked on my Instagram, so you can go find that there as well. All right, I think that is everything. As you can see, has it been a while since I made this long of a video? Probably not. I talk a lot, but I have a lot going on. Plastics is definitely kind of the main focus. I mean, 3 weeks from today, I am leaving my home, and as of right now, I'll probably be either flying or in Tijuana. So that is crazy. That is so crazy. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys have been enjoying the first week of 2020. I hope that you have an amazing, that you had an amazing New Year, or New Year's Eve, and a New Year, that you're just doing amazing all around. And I'll talk to you all very soon. Bye, guys.